Are you having a hard time dating as a Christian? Because I know dating today is very unique. And sometimes when I talk to people, they feel like that they have to just spill out all these things when it comes to their relationship with God and what they're expecting in a partner. And in today's episode, I want to talk to you about how you can actually date without being super churchy. So welcome back to another episode of the You, Me, and Jesus podcast. Today we're talking about dating. It's one of probably my favorite subjects, but also like healing and therapy are always my favorite subjects. But we're talking about dating because I am single. I'm out here trying to date. I'm out here meeting all types of people. I'm talking to people in church. I'm talking to people out of church. And it feels a little awkward talking to some people about dating, especially those that are Christians, because I'm a Christian, right? And we're all trying to do it the best that we can God's way, in 2025. And I'm finding it very interesting when I am having conversations with some Christians when it comes to how they are approaching dating. And so I want to do something funny. I love to go to Google. We're going to go to Google, and we're actually going to go to Google AI, which we do a lot on this show. And I'm going to type in Google dating as a Christian, and I'm going to see what comes up. Okay, AI gave us something, and then I'm going to put how to date without being churchy. And let's see what Google says. Okay, so Google came up with videos. AI didn't actually give us anything. Let me see. I'm going to type in churchy dating and see if anything funny comes up there. All right, let's see. Or just interesting. Churchy dating. Nope. It's okay. So AI is not able to come up with anything there. So I'm going to actually go to ChatGPT. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. All right, let's speak it into ChatGPT. All right, here we go, ChatGPT. I'm doing a podcast episode about how to date without being churchy, period. What do you have to say about how to date without being churchy? And now let's see what ChatGPT has to say. This sounds like a fun and interesting topic. Dating without being churchy can mean approaching the experience in a way that is respectful and thoughtful without letting religious language, expectations, or pressure dominate the relationship. Here are a few things to consider when dating without being churchy. All right. Keep the conversation authentic. Focus on shared values. Avoid putting pressure on the other person. Create fun and related experiences. Respect. So on and so on. In summary, dating without being churchy is about balancing respect for your faith with openness to someone else's perspective. Focus on being yourself, showing respect, and having fun rather than forcing your beliefs into the dynamic, the key to authentic communication and mutual understanding. Okay, so I will have to say that I agree with ChatGPT. So let's unpack that. So when we think about those of us that we're Christian and we're trying our best to do it God's way, and we're trying to meet people who are on the same journey with God in life and that want marriage and all that, I understand that we are living in the world that we're living in today, and there is a percentage of people who are in church. There's a percentage of people who are not in church. Then there's a percentage that are in church that are doing it God's way. And then there is a percentage there isn't, right? And we're all just doing our best, and we're all just trying to figure it out, right? Okay. So sometimes when I talk to people that are trying to date and that are in church, sometimes all of the not so great experiences that they have, they bring it into the present, right? And they just kind of dump things on people. Let me explain. So let's just say I met a guy, right? I met a guy who okay, let me just full disclosure. So, God can't stand me being on dating apps. Periodically, I get on them and then I get off within like 2 or 3 days. So that's a confession. Let's talk about it. So I was on a dating app, and there was this guy, and in his profile, he was sharing what he was looking for, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I was like, wow, this is great. It's very honest, upfront. It wasn't direct. It was just, what he was looking for. And I was like, that's great. And so I sent him a message, and he messaged me back. But his message back was all the things that he doesn't want, right? And I was like, whoa. It was a lot of things that he did not want. And I was just like, why would he do all that? And I'm like, because he's talking about physical appearance, and the things that he said he didn't want, I didn't match that appearance. So I was like, why would he say that here in this message? What's going on there? And when I was analyzing that, I said, okay, this is because this person has had these particular experiences, and they're trying to tell me up front, I don't want this. And I was like, how did that make me feel? It was very jarring. It didn't make me want to continue having the conversation with him, or whatever. And so I also have chatted with some friends of mine who are dating and have been on dating apps, and they are finding themselves doing the exact same thing, where they are creating these dating profiles, and it's just like, bam, it's just like churchy, right? And I'm like, one of my friends, I said, let me see your profile. And when I looked at their profile, I was like, why does your profile look like this? What do you mean? I'm like, you're nothing like that. Why is that photo of you like that? That's not even how you are. Girl, what's going on with this photo? And then I was reading the profile, and it was so churchy. And I was like, but that's not even how you are. You are so fun. Like, why aren't you telling us how fun you are? Well, because when I do that, I get all the wrong men for all the wrong reasons. And I said, well, when we look at her churchy profile, I'm like, well, what are you getting with the churchy people? And she was like, just very unique people. Like, just I wouldn't date them either. And I said, well, that's because you're presenting yourself not like a real person. You're just like real churchy, because you're trying to weed out all the not so great, people, whatever, but you're weeding out the great people too, because of how you are showing up. And she was like, well, I'm churchy. I'm like, girl, you are so churchy. And so I started reading her some of the things that was churchy. And I'm like, but that's not even how you are. You're like this and you're like this. I'm like, yes, these are true, but this is all also true. And none of that is included in your profile. And she was like, I hadn't even thought about that. And then I watch a lot of TikTok videos, and I hear some Christians, talk about like modesty and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's a definite way to be on it, to be modest. I'm all about it, but there's also like, are you being churchy? Are you being modest? You know what I mean? And here's what I want to encourage. It's really important for you to know who you are, right? It's really important for you to know what you want, what you need. It's also important for you to ask the Lord, what should you be looking for? Like, if you're going to go on dating app, not encouraging it, but if you are, know who you are, know what you want, and ask yourself the question, when I am creating these profiles, when I am engaging with these people, if I was sitting across from me, how would I perceive me? Right? And if you would think that you're coming on along a little strong, then you probably should back it up. If you would see that you're being the person's being very churchy, maybe you should be less churchy. I'll give an example of how I'm not churchy. So if I had a dating profile, my dating profile would have really cute photos of me, right? My boobs aren't showing, my backside's not showing. You can see I'm a curvy girl. Obviously, you can see my full body. People want to know what you look like. That's period. People want to see here. They want to see your full body. It's a given. You want to see, and so do they. Okay. I'm not doing any back shots. I'm not showing anything here, but it's a full profile. Okay. Then I'm smiling. Okay. Also in my profile, I'm saying I'm very energetic, fun loving. I love college basketball, looking for someone that I can watch March Madness with, go on to dinner with, someone I can go to church with. so on and so on. Right. And so then if it asks for deal breakers, I will say doesn't love God, doesn't go to church. Okay. And then if it asks me more about my my relationship with God, I would say, devout Christian. I serve at church. But I also know how to have a good time. I know how to do a game night. I know how to cook. I know how to surf. I don't know how to surf. I love traveling to here, and here. So I've made it clear of who I am, but I'm also all of this, right? So I've told you I'm looking for this. These are deal breakers if you're not this, and I'm all of this. So then if we are sitting across from each other and you're asking me what I'm looking for, right? I wouldn't go on my laundry list again. I would say, well, I've been in church for a long time, and I'm definitely looking for someone that I can not only go to church with, that can pray for me, pray with me, and we can grow in our relationship with God together. But I'm also looking for someone that wouldn't mind if I go shopping here, or there, and whether you're in the store with me or you're not, someone that can introduce me to different things. I like a man that wears cologne. So if he doesn't wear cologne, he's okay with me buying him cologne, and he'll wear the cologne that I like. I love animals. I'm okay if I don't have a bunch of animals at home, but I want somebody who loves animals because I feel like animal people are great people. And like, I'm including God in all of the aspects, but I'm not making it all the things, right? I am prophetic. I am apostolic. I do lay hands. I do feel all these different things that God is doing, but I'm not bringing all that to a date, right? I'm not bringing all that to my dating profile, right? This is clear. Right? But this is also clear. And if you've had bad experiences with dating app, first of all, ask God, should you be there? That's a given. Okay. Second of all, if he's not convicting you about the dating apps, then it's important for you to understand you're going to attract the wrong people, period. It's just like, you just are. Like, for example, somebody had me on a dating show. There were thousands of people watching, and I was very clear. I love God. I love Jesus. He has to love Jesus. And I haven't been intimate in 10 years. So I need a man who will not want to be intimate until marriage. Extremely clear. And we had a long conversation about that. I still received a ton of messages from men that didn't fit that. I still received a ton of messages from men that didn't fit that. Why? Because some people don't care. Right? Some people just don't care, but that doesn't mean that everybody is like that. That just means that those guys that reached out don't care. You know what I mean? And so it's really important that you don't necessarily categorize everybody in that category, because I know that they're not all in that category. I know that while those guys are there, there's also good guys. You see what I mean? There's not bad. You know what I mean? There's also ideal guys, right? They're all there. You know what I mean? But when we think that because of this is that, we kind of mess it up for our own selves. So if you're out here dating in these dating streets, tell people you love God. You're looking for someone who loves God, and also tell them about your hobbies. Tell them how much you love shoes or makeup or reality TV shows or dating shows or Instagram. Tell them what's on your FYP. If it's cat videos, if it's food videos, if it's weight loss videos, talk about some of those things. The person doesn't want to always hear about God. Like, I love God. My best friend. But there's more to me than just God, right? Like, we can't be so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good, meaning that we can't just be there's a lot to that statement, that's scripture, but we can't just be also focused on God, that we're not actually in reality of like, I've been really working on making my teeth straight. Oh, I love Invisalign. Oh, I'm using this new cream for my skin. It's really helppful. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, we got to give ourselves the permission to like, be here on the earth too, and not just, everything is, because you're not going to always be in church. You are not. When you're with that person, you're not going to always be talking about God. When you get married and you guys become intimate, y'all not going to talk about God, not one bit, not in that act. No, you are not. Okay. And so a person is looking for a well-rounded person, not just a person who all they talk about is God. And so I just want to share that because I want you to give yourself permission to be yourself, love God, trust God, Desire a spouse that loves God and fears God, period. And make that clear and tell them about the rest of you.